Today is Thursday, July 27, 2023. It's 1:19 in the morning. I'm here in the office and I wanted to make a video talking about several things. I kind of wanted to talk about different things. I heard some gunshots right now, so I feel a little on edge, a little like anxious, because I'm like just now I'm being like more vigilant, So kind of threw me off a little bit because I was going to make a video already, but I hadn't yet, and then I was hearing that. I was fucking arguing with this douchebag online, and I say that, and I feel like, oh, don't say that, because that's one of the other things I wanted to talk about is my like inner struggles with communicating with people, because I have a way of communicating that's a certain way right now, and that's basically just reflecting back to the person whatever energy they're giving me, to the point where I'm not able to, where I'm basically annoyed or upset at them, where I'm just like fed up and I'm like, okay, whatever, like I'm not gonna try anymore, and then I start matching energy, and like I wanna figure out how to get people to understand what I'm saying or where I'm coming from without offending them before they understand where I'm coming from. Because then I offend them in the process of explaining, and they just stop listening. Like, they just stop listening and they don't care to listen. Like, they want to label. Like, this one conversation was about, it's about Trump being racist, basically. Like, that was what the main like whole dialogue was about, because I forgot who messaged, who commented on whose comment first. I don't remember who commented on who first, but basically he was saying that Trump was a racist, and that he was a bigot, and anyone like basically that supported Trump was a bigot. It was just like that hardcore perspective of like, you can't be a supporter of this guy and not be a bigot, because only bigots and racists are supporters of him. And I was just like, oh my god, because even this guy, I'm sure, and I told him, if you say, oh, that I would never, you're fucking lying, because every single one of us out there has at some point made a racist joke or laughed at a racist joke, thought something racist was funny. Like, I just saw a comment right now. This one guy commented that it was a Michael Knowles post where he said, why isn't Russia and China doing emergency meetings on UFOs or some shit like that? And the first comment that I saw there was somebody saying, this is no laughing matter. I earlier today I spotted eight aliens while I was out shopping at the local store. I don't remember where he said, but basically he was saying that he saw just Mexicans. He said he saw 4 watering the plants and 2 with the wheelbarrows, and like, it's just stupid. Like, it's funny. Like, You know, I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican American. Yeah, I've worked jobs like that, landscaping, doing labor work. You know, I'm not offended by it. Like, it's a little accurate. You know, in the sense that we are labeled as, well, not us, but you know, like, not me per se, but my some of my family is labeled as alien because they weren't born here. You know, they were born in Mexico and they moved over here or whatever. They were born in other places. So they're aliens in that sense. So it's funny, like racist stupid jokes like that are funny, and you know, people could say, "Oh no, they're not" or whatever, but they're fucking lying, and they laugh at all the Netflix joke specials too that come out that they hear and shit. Maybe not every single person. I'm sure there's some that get genuinely offended by it, but it's all in good fun to me. And at the end of the day, like, in my eyes, if you're not physically like hurting somebody, then it's not you know, it's nothing that should really bother you. Like, people could say whatever the fuck they want. Like, this asshole was calling me all kinds of names, like bigot, racist, and whatever. All these things that I'm not. Like, I'm not fucking racist. I'm not a bigot. Just because I make jokes or laugh at them, like, that doesn't make you racist. If that made you a racist, like, then you know, practically the whole entire fucking world is racist. Because you hear how many people laugh in those comedy specials at those jokes. You see how many laughs and, you know, likes posts like that get. People think it's fucking funny, like, and that's fine. Like, it's fine to think it's funny. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, people need to calm down, relax with the sensitivity, man. Like, honestly. Anyways, I'm trying to, you know, get through to people like that too, that are overly sensitive, like this dude. So it's like I want to be a little more able to communicate with them, you know, but it's just hard, especially when you have such a different, like, perspective on humor, you know, and what's funny and how to deal with things or whatever, or how to see things. Cause like a lot of these people, they seem smart, you know, like and they seem like they care, like they have good hearts, you know, but they're just so, like, just brainwashed. There's no other word to say it, but brainwashed by these ideologies that are so paradoxically ironic. Like, they enforce the very stereotypes that they're trying to, you know, dissolve and get away from and not conform to, by telling people, yeah, you should go and chop your dick off, man, and, you know, get a vagina so you could be a woman. Like, you're you're basically telling that person, because that, and they do that. There's actually clinics and doctors that have done that have said, oh, because, and therapists that have said, oh, because you are, you know, a boy that enjoys partaking in like mostly girl activities, like wearing dresses and wearing makeup and heels and playing with dolls or whatever, that you are trans, and that you should, you know, start transitioning because that's gonna make you happier. They are telling that to people, to kids, like, and I don't understand how they don't understand how that can brainwash kids that are just like being kids most of the time, you know, like, a lot of a lot of little boys like to play dress up and wear the dresses or skirts or whatever, just like for fun, like, you know, just to laugh or whatever. Or maybe some of them actually like how they look. That's a little, you know, weird in my eyes, like, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean it's right or whatever. But whatever, if that's what they want to do, like, that doesn't mean they're a fucking girl. Like, don't encourage them to go and sterilize themselves. Like, don't do that. That's just awful. Like, and these people are encouraging, these kids to go and do that, to sterilize themselves and to, transition into the opposite sex, and forever remove the opportunity of them having their own children, their own biological children. And that's supposed to be seen as progressive and loving and caring, because you're allowing this person the space to exist as they truly are, as the opposite sex. And I don't know how people can't see how wrong that is. Like, because you're not allowing that person to actually live the opposite sex, because they are never going to be able to live as the opposite sex, because their bodies will never function that way ever, no matter how many drug hormones they take or surgeries they have throughout their lives. They are never going to be the opposite sex. Their bodies are physiologically made to function a certain way. Okay, the cells, the DNA, all the little parts inside, they all work independently as much as with each other. They all have their own task, their own blueprint. They can't stray from that. Doctors can't change that. You can tuck a penis up inside a man, but it's never going to have the same biological function as a natural vagina. Even if you take the sac from their intestine, which has similar lubrication tissue in it as the vagina, even if you do that and you put it there, it's not going to function as a vagina. It doesn't have the elasticity, the back and forth like that the vagina does, the stretchiness, the width that it has. It doesn't have that, and it makes their vagina smell like shit. Like, it literally does. A lot of them say that because that's what it was, like, it was for their shit. And like, they're putting that there. It's like, it's just awful, like, what they're doing to these people. And they're giving them this false hope that, yes, you're gonna be a woman, you're gonna have that experience. They don't know, how it's gonna be. They think that the doctors know what they're doing, and that it's gonna work the way it's supposed to, like a woman, and it's not, because it's not a vagina. It's not a real vagina, and it's never gonna be, because your body doesn't have that. It doesn't process that. It can't. It just processes trauma. That's why the wounds, the vaginas start closing up, because the body's seeing it as a wound and it's closing up. And why the penises, start shrinking and having problems too, because they're wounds, and that's what the body is recognizing it as. And it's just so disturbing to me that this happens, and it's just something that's being perpetuated and promoted as something good for people to do, something that we should encourage, and that they're forcing us to encourage and to accept on people. That's why I'm so outspoken about it already, where I don't care who I offend. If I offend you, like, I'm sorry that you're offended, but I'm not gonna stop talking about it. I'm not gonna keep saying these things to people. I don't care who gets mad or how many people think I'm a racist or a bigot. Like, I don't care. You know, this is, to me, it's so disturbing, and it's more important to keep talking about it and speaking the truth, because, and I just want to be able to get through to people that truth, you know, without me getting all pissed off because of how stupid they are being, and how belittling they're being, and how much I just want to smack them for being so stupid and not really caring, because they're acting like they're caring about people, but they're really not. Because if you really care about people, you're gonna want to really understand the full scope of what it is that they are getting themselves into on a matter like this, before you just go and start like saying, yeah, go do it, and supporting it and promoting it, without really understanding like the full picture of it all. And they don't know all the amount of detransitioners out there that have spoken out. They don't have any idea. And the ones that have spoken out, like how they're treated, how they're put down and made to feel as if there's some kind of outcasts from the LGBT community because they're speaking their truth about their experiences. It's awful. It's And then they're the ones that more at risk taking their lives after that, because they have no help at all, from not even from the medical community, because they don't know what to do with them. They're not sure. I mean, there's some that are starting to be able to help them a little bit more, like the ones that are, that have been in it longer and have learned like what the best way is to do things to have the less complications. But I mean, why even have them go down that path? Why even allow it to get that far? Oh, that's right, because they think that they're helping them by letting them be themselves. Oh my God. So yeah, I was just arguing with this guy. It started with Trump, and then it went into that transgenderism, just because I started getting insulting on him and started like throwing stuff at him, and it about how he supports transgender. I says the guy that supports people mentally ill, people mutilating and sterilizing themselves. And then it got into that conversation and tried talking for a bit again, but he was just fucking stubborn, man, and so kind of really stupid. Like he read I showed him that study of how the Swedish study showed that transgenderism increase the post-op individuals increased in suicidality rates after bottom surgery and or after surgery. And I showed it to him, and he was just like saying that it was saying the opposite of what I thought, because it was saying that it alleviate that they found that although it alleviated their gender dysphoria, the surgeries alleviated their gender dysphoria. They found that uh transitioning wasn't the best method of treatment for their gender dysphoria necessarily, but that even after their gender dysphoria, their surgeries, they're still gonna need uh psychosomatic treatment, and basically they're still gonna need therapy and follow-up care after their surgeries, because of other health issues that come into play. They're not meant to just have their bottom surgery and okay, see you, have a good life. Like, that's not what happens. And yeah, because it's not an answer, because they realize they're never gonna be the opposite sex that they want to be, the way they want to be. Like, it's never gonna happen. Like, the fact that people think it can and are believing it shows just how like dumb people are, to be honest. Like, because basic biology, if you have a basic understanding of biology, you know that that is impossible. Like, scientifically impossible. Like, there's never been in the history of the human race or life as we know it, has there ever been a case where a person has been conceived without the egg from a female and the sperm from a man? Like, ever. It's all, that's how it is. And you can't ever change that. You can't ever have a man become a fully functioning woman and vice versa. It won't, because they can never reproduce like that. That would be the only way you can fully transition into the opposite sex, is if you have their full reproductive parts as well, and you won't. You're not. You're not going to. And you can go ahead and change your outside look so you can look like the opposite sex if you want to. You know, take the hormones if you must, and risk ruining your bone density and your your hormone levels, and whatever other complications come with that, because I know there's more. That's fine, but at least leave your genitals alone. Like, leave your parts alone. Like, you don't have to butcher yourself. Like, it's not gonna help you. It's not.